He'd wondered whether life in Devon too would now feel empty, devoid of challenge. In the back of his mind had hovered the question of whether the deadening void within was entirely an effect of tonish life, or, far more worrying, was the symptom of some deeper inner malaise. Within days of returning to the Grange, he'd been reassured on that point at least. His life was suddenly overflowing with purpose. He hadn't had a moment when one challenge or another hadn't been front and centre before him, clamouring for attention, demanding action. Since returning home and seeing his father off, he'd barely had time to think. That unsettling sense of disconnection and emptiness had evaporated, leaving only a novel restlessness beneath. He no longer felt useless. Clearly, the life of a country gentleman, the life he'd been born and bred to, was his true calling. Yet still there was something missing from his life. Currently, however, it was the missing link at the Red Bells Inn that most severely exercised him. Replacing the unlamented jugs had proved to be very far from a simple matter. He shook his head in disgusted disbelief. Whoever would have imagined finding a decent innkeeper would prove so damned difficult? How far afield have you searched? I've had notices posted throughout the Shire and beyond, as far as Plymouth, Bristol, and Southampton. He pulled a face. I could send to one of the London agencies, but we did that last time, and they landed us with jugs. If I had my choice, I'd have a local in the job, or at least a West Countryman. Determination hardening his face, he sat up. And if I can't have that, then at the very least I want to interview the applicant before I offer them the job. If we'd seen Jugs before the agency hired him, we'd never have contemplated foisting him on the village. His long legs stretched before him, still very much the startlingly handsome, dark-haired devil who years before had made the Ton's matrons swoon. Lucifer frowned. It seems odd you've had no takers. Jonas sighed. It's the village, the smallness of it, that makes all the good applicants shy away. The countering fact's that when you add the surrounding houses and estates, we're a decent-sized community, and with no other inn or hostelry in the vicinity, we're assured a good trade, aren't sufficient, it seems, to weigh against the drawbacks of no shops and a small population. With one long finger, he flicked a sheaf of papers. Once they learn the truth of Colleton, all the decent applicants take flight. He grimaced and met Lucifer's dark blue eyes. If they're good candidates, they're ambitious, and Colleton, so they believe, has nothing to offer them by way of advancement. Lucifer grimaced back. It seems you're looking for a rare bird. Someone capable of managing an inn who wants to live in a backwater like Colleton. Jonas eyed him speculatively. You live in this backwater. Can I tempt you to try your hand at managing an inn? Lucifer's grin flashed. Thank you, but no. I've an estate to manage, just like you. Quite aside from the fact neither you nor I know the first thing about the domestic side of running an inn. Lucifer nodded. Aside from that, mind you, Phillida could probably manage the inn with her eyes closed. Except she's already got her hands full. Thanks to you. Jonas spent a mock censorious look on his brother-in-law. Lucifer and Phillida already had 2 children, Aidan and Evan, 2 very active little boys, and Phillida had recently deigned to confirm that she was carrying their 3rd child. Despite numerous other hands always about to help, Phillida's own hands were indeed full. Lucifer grinned unrepentantly. Given you thoroughly enjoy playing uncle, that condemnatory look lacks bite. Lips twisting in a rueful smile, Jonas let his gaze fall to the small pile of letters that were all that had come of the notices with which he'd papered the Shire. It's a sad situation when the best applicant is an ex-inmate of Newgate. Lucifer let out a bark of laughter. He rose, stretched, then smiled at Jonas. Something or someone will turn up. I dare say, Jonas returned. But when? As you pointed out, the expectations are only escalating. As the inn's owner, and therefore the person everyone deems responsible for fulfilling...